So I was asked if a lot of times people ask me if like gold or Bitcoin's better, and like I think everyone should have their own opinion on the matter. But the similarities between gold and Bitcoin are like a lot. They're a lot more similar than you think. So there's a finite amount of gold in the world. There's a fixed amount of Bitcoin in the world as well. There's 21 million Bitcoin. There's only so much gold in the world. You can only mine so much until we're an intergalactic species, so you don't have to worry about that. We'll be long gone by then. I do think that you hold it for its long-term value, right? So as the government prints more money, as they devalue the dollar, gold has always been used as a hedge for inflation, and Bitcoin is like the new kid on the block for gold, right? It's the new type of gold. It's the benefit of Bitcoin over gold is that you can hold an infinite amount as long as you have sunlight. You can connect to the internet. You can deposit it and trade it as long as you have internet, and as long as you have satellites, as long as you have sunlight, you can generate electricity and therefore have Bitcoin. Now, gold, what its better track record for is gold has been around for thousands of years. It's tried and tested. So like, in my opinion, I have both. I like both. Gold has good electricity, or has good conductive properties. So it's used in computer chips. It's used in electric cars. It's used in like, I mean, it conducts heat without heating. You know, it's good conductive properties. It's used in everything. CPUs. That being said, it is really heavy to store. So gold is like I mean, in the safety, right? It's like, where are you gonna put, $50,000 of gold in a safe in the house? It gets robbed. It's like, people always try to argue that like, if Bitcoin, like, oh, well, what if someone takes off the internet? What if someone robs your safe? I mean, Bitcoin can be stored on a ledger, but even if you lose the ledger, you can literally still upload it and find it as long as you don't lose your passwords. You get 16 passwords or whatever ledger you use and whatever encrypted site you have. I mean, it's technically not hackable. That's hence why it's worth trillions of dollars now. And gold, I mean, it doesn't tarnish, which is really cool. Like, it doesn't really go bad, the oxidation. With like silver will tarnish. You have to polish it. If you've ever stored silver and taken it out, you'll see how like dark it gets. But I'm 50. Like, I like Bitcoin, but I love history. So Bitcoin doesn't have the track record that gold has. Bitcoin, you got to realize, is also the best performing asset through the last decade. It's like the best. If you would have bought like $500 of Bitcoin when you were in high school, you'd be a millionaire now, which is like, I mean, maybe $1,000. I'm not really sure when you're in high school. It depends on the math, but I remember it being a couple $100 a coin or less, and thinking it was a scam, and then learning about it when it was 4, 5, 10,000 a coin, and understanding the idea and the scarcity, and that countries, the more people adopt it, like El Salvador, the more that it becomes, more futuristic, more realistic. Michael Saylor's a great example on understanding what Bitcoin is. But I love gold too, so I have a hard time. Like, I know I probably won't have the same returns, but I won't have the same losses if something drastic happens. And it's hard to say what. I mean, if I knew it, then it would be an easy answer. It's not an easy answer. So realistically speaking, I would do both, probably. I mean, you're probably going to make more with Bitcoin in the long run, but gold's probably safer because of its history. Now, if Bitcoin was around for 10,000 years, I would be like, well, gold is so stupid. But it's new. It's like, it's really hard to, and you can, I've listened to both arguments. An index fund or gold. Like, there's no right answer, right? It's only what your right answer is and what your, system are. And don't buy gold and store it in a bank, because when shit hits a fan, and it always does, they will bank run you. And there's bank runs, and then they'll be like, well, we only have $1, and I know you have $1 million in here, but here's $1. Like, banks and the money system, it's fraudulent. That's why there's gold. That's why there's Bitcoin. I would personally rather have my money on a ledger than in a bank, and I probably should have more on a ledger than in a bank. But brainwashed into thinking like the bank is safe, and it's not. But long story short, I love both. I hate the dollar. So the dollar is the best currency out of all of them, but every currency ever created has gone to zero. Every single one. There's never been a currency that has not collapsed before. Gold has been around through all of them. So until you want to say, whoa, gold has been around longer than any currency. So do what you will with that. If you go to work and you make $500 in that day, or whatever, 200, but whatever it is you make, it doesn't matter. Let's say you bought a little bit of gold every month. I just know from my example, I remember when it was like $1,400 an ounce, and I'm like, oh my God, $1,400 for a little ounce of gold, and you buy it and you're like, oh, now it's $2,200. Like, oh, well, that was easy. It didn't really gain any value. What happened is the dollar lost value. So like the dollars that you have in your bank went down in value. And until you understand that money loses like 1% a month, really, I mean, honestly, you're losing, your cash is losing its value. So like every month you lose your money that you earned and saved, unless you buy bonds or CDs, or understand that there's a different way to earn. You have to earn interest on your money. Gold is just a way to stabilize the value. Whatever you earn today, it's going to hold its value. Now Bitcoin has the same idea, right? But also Bitcoin has a belief that if more people buy into it, it's going to skyrocket the price. Bitcoin's volatility is also insane compared to gold. So, and not in a good way either, in a bad way. So I just have a hard time really like putting my mind to what's going to be what. I would probably say like 50-50, like buy $100 in gold, buy $100 in Bitcoin. Just you're not going to hurt yourself. I mean, maybe you will with some Bitcoin, maybe you will with some gold if you lose it, but the dollar will eventually go to zero. If you have like $100,000 today, in 50 years, that 100 grand is going to be like 5 grand. You know what I mean? Like, it's going to be nothing anyways. You might as well give it a shot. That's it.